Welcome back, everybody, to the Phantoms Cast. This is episode 6. It's been a little while, but we're back for another episode, and this time I'm joined by 3 guys on my team, Priority Phase, and all 3 of these guys have topped an event in the last 2 months, starting with Tim Dahl in the bottom right, topping YCS Providence, top 16, right? And that was in May. And then we have Alex B in the top right, who just topped the NAWCQ, top 32, also had the feature match in the top 64 on Vanquish Soul. And then we have Alex T in the bottom left, aka Thyme Thief on YouTube. Check out the link below. Got top 16 at the NAWCQ. So yeah, I was really excited to have these guys on, talk about our experience at the NAWCQ a little bit, and then just talk about some hot topics going around the game. EUWCQ coming up this weekend. Justice Hunters coming out the week after that. Banlist, which is not coming, but coming eventually, and stuff like that. So let's start back at YCS Providence, because that was in May, and we did our podcast before that to kind of do a tier list of what we thought would be good, and that was a disaster. A little, I mean, it was good, yeah. But we also had Live Twin Fiendsmith tier 1, so there were wins and losses there. Tim, can you go over a little bit how that event went for you? You got top 16. That was your first premier top, right?
Great. I had a really good time. I think the deck I ended up playing was probably like the list itself was wrong, but I like the deck I played a lot.
What deck were you
on? Malice. Yeah. I thought it was by far the best deck. I think that was definitely wrong in hindsight. I definitely discredited the Mitsu Raziel deck a lot. And even the Pyramid Tsurugi deck too. Yeah. But I think overall, I'm happy I played Malice for that event. But because I don't really like the Raziel decks that much.
Yeah.
Not really my thing.
Was that right after Alliance Insight came out? So that was Mitsurugi was kind of, people didn't really know what it was entirely yet. So
yeah. Like the pure deck, it was starting to catch a little steam on Dueling Book and stuff like that. But it definitely had a lot better showing than I thought it would in Providence, because I thought it would be a lot more under the table, but it turns out a lot more people had it on their radar than maybe even I did.
Yeah, well, I remember
I thought that deck was actually really good.
I remember going into that event, we were thinking Malice is tier 0 level, they just got Marshare and Ally Code Talker and whatever else, the Ignister cards, they kind of got everything they wanted, and we were Malice is in a tier of its own, everything else is below. Kind of turned out not so much. It's pretty much even playing field with the Raziel and Mitsu decks. So, but you kept rolling with Malice through Providence and also played it last weekend, or whatever, 2 weekends ago at the NAWCQ. So, and then Alex T also played Malice. Can you guys talk a little bit about why you thought Malice was still the best bet, even though Raziel Mitsurugi was all over the place and probably actually performing better in tournaments? They were getting more tops or having more percentage of the top cut. Why'd you roll with Malice last event?
I know personally the reason I did was because it was the deck I had been playing. I still thought the deck was excellent. I think going into the event, you just have to go with the you just accept the fact that there are going to be games you lose to some bozo because they drew Lancia or Lancia plus Full Wallace or something like that. I think those games are acceptable because of how high ceiling the deck actually is, and I think that's why I personally chose it, because I thought the deck was still really great.
Yeah. Alex.
Yeah, the new decks introduced in duelist events, they weren't strong enough, I felt to justify choosing one of those. So then you have the Malice and Raziel decks, and I think Raziel going to popularity was a big thing for the Malice deck, because people had to prepare more for the Raziel deck in their main decks and their side decks than they did for the Malice deck. Everyone saw Lancias, but I didn't see very many people with 3 Lancia, 3 Meows, Chaos Hunter, this type of stuff.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I brought up.
Stuff you saw at Providence.
Yeah, I brought that up in my NAWCQ tier list video. I was people aren't playing all these Malice counters anymore. It's just kind of 3 Lancia and then hope you don't play against it. So I kind of thought it would be kind of nice, because in Providence, right, Chaos Hunter, Meows, and Lancia, 9 cards per side deck against Malice, but you just couldn't do that at the NAWCQ or in this format, just because there's too many other threats to kind of like deal with, right?
Yeah, and like the main deck hand traps in Nats format, they don't really hit Malice that well. Like Ash Blossom, Droll, like even Perulia you can play around a lot of the times. It's still decent, but wait, what'd you say?
Wallows too. Like I think
Yeah,
like the
I mean,
charms are
Fearless
overall
is
like
pretty decent though.
it's decent, but like I won most of the games. Like I got full Wallace. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it did enough most of the time.
Yeah, your endboard's still pretty good. And like Imperm, if people were playing that, like all these cards are just like not very good against Malice game one. So it's a great game one deck. And then people are siding less games 2 and 3, so I think it was a pretty good choice.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think it took like the biggest part of the pie of the top 64, if I'm not mistaken, on that as well. And then Alex B, you took the new deck to hit the meta, which was Vanquish Soul, and you got all the way to top 32. How did you come to that decision, and like what were your other options, I guess?
Well, I played Mitsu Raizel Fiendsmith in Providence, and I thought it was a fine deck. And it seemed like it was relatively popular for this event, but I got really bored of it, and so I think like probably 3 weeks or something before Nats, I kind of decided I wanted to just play Vanquish Soul instead. And I kind of like committed because I felt like if I like flip flopped a lot, it'd be pretty uh difficult to actually be like competent with it. And I also felt like I tested with Alex and Tim a lot, and I felt like the matchup into Malice was pretty easy, at least for Vanquish Soul specifically. Um, and I actually thought it was pretty fun, but in practice, it was probably not the best choice. I think we were the third most represented deck in Top Cut, so it was actually not bad. But I do think I got lucky because I basically only played mirror matches and Malice and a little bit of Mitsurugi throughout the event. So I think I was lucky that what I played against was what I had prepared for the most part.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alex T and Tim, did you guys test anything else, or was anything like a close second choice for you besides Malice?
I tested Lunalite a lot, and I also tested the Vanquish Soul deck too. They were like fun to play. I think Lunalite ended up being a really bad deck for this event, and Vanquish Soul it's just I didn't have enough testing with it, and I didn't like it more than Malice. I do think that deck is good though.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the Vanquish Soul deck to be good because it looked like fun to play, but I feel like ultimately it was just like worse decision to play that than like a Malice deck, so I didn't choose it. I also wanted to test Sky Striker, but nobody on here would play me, so we know, which ended up being a good decision, I suppose. Yeah.
Nice. All right, let's take a quick peek at the actual results and go over a little bit like what you guys think. First of all, the winner was playing Orcust. I thought Orcust was a joke deck, kind of, because of like it's just a deck full of bricks, but somehow this guy pulled it off and took home the win. What do you guys think about Orcust? And do you think it was a fluke? There were 4 in the top 64, so
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Shout outs to that man's opponents, man. I don't know how they pulled it off. They got Orcust the dub.
Yeah.
We watched as his opponent read his cards in the finals and then chose not to play around it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he played like blind second Gem Knight too, in like later rounds of Top Cut.
Yeah. I mean, his end board must be
Dude.
really insane if he's not interrupted, I'm sure. So that Gem Knight deck probably has a terrible matchup.
Yeah, it does set up an Omni at least with Crescendo, so any breaker deck is not gonna have a good time compared to like the rest of the meta. And then yeah, you mentioned Gem Knight. 3 Gem Knights in the top 64. I don't think I've read a Gem Knight card in my life, so thank God I did not pair up against one of those. And then let's see, we had 18 Malice, 18 Mitsurugi, 7 Vanquish Soul, and then 3 Raizel, whatever that means. I'm guessing like Onomat Raizel or something. 2 Blue Eyes somehow. I don't get it, but okay. 1 White Forest, 1 Evil Twin, 1 Punk, 1 Lunalite, 2 Mermail, 2 Memento, and 1 Goblin Biker. So there was actually, like 14 decks or something in the top 64, which is kind of insane. It's kind of... I expected it to be a 3-deck tournament, maybe 4. I thought Lunalite would be a lot better than it was. But I think it's kind of another one of those things where, like, hey, so many people are scared of Lunalite that they're over-preparing for it just because they don't want to lose to a Towers monster. So I wonder if Lunalite starts getting forgotten about, it'll start doing better because people just won't have outs to Liger Dancer or something like that. Do you guys, like, anyone that tested Lunalite, like, feel that way? Do you think you're losing because everyone had an out to Liger, or because it actually is not good?
I don't think it's because like people have an out to Liger. Like that wasn't really the issue when I played the deck. It was when you couldn't get to Liger, like how bad the deck ends up becoming. Because like it's just like Baguska Turbo. Because Lancia is like one of those cards that like just FTKs that deck for no reason. And if people like shift away from that, I do think that deck is like a good meta call. Because it plays well through most of the hand traps aside from like Imperm. Like all the other ones like Droll, they don't really care about that much. It's really just like Lancia and like Imperm for some reason. So I think if people shift away from those cards, that deck is like still really scary to play against. I'm not sure how great it is into like the new Canine stuff because it's super easy to activate Azuna against that deck.
Yeah.
But I do think it's like at least we're trying for the new format.
Yeah, I feel like there probably also wasn't a lot of Lunalite players like in total representation. An even smaller amount of those players that like knew how to play well and knew like what non-engine to play and those type of things. So I'm sure that contributed to it some.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that deck is actually pretty difficult too. Just generally.
And it has a bad Malice matchup too. So RIP.
And apparently there were a lot of Malice.
Yeah.
Which I think was... I didn't think... We expected it to be a little less Malice, but... it ended
I
up,
played more at Nats than at Rhode Island. Like, I played a lot of Malice this event.
Yeah, dude, same. Shout outs to our testing and mirror matches. Holy.
Yes.
I was gonna ask if there were any like weird matchups that you played that were not one of the top decks, like any like very weird strategies that you ran into kind of in the tournament, or is everything just kind of standard meta?
Yeah, like you played that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Orcus Fiendsmith, but he ended up winning the tournament, so
Yeah.
you know.
But you did win in round 7 or 8 or whatever.
So by the transitive property, I won the tournament.
Exactly. You literally won. But I think the thing with those decks, like there was actually a pretty diverse range of like, not like rogue decks, but like a bunch of people on these like Gem Knights or Orcus. And like I think it shows like even like a lot of the feature matches they showed, including like the finals and semifinals, you'd like see it like legitimately good players have to like read their cards a lot. And like these are players who you would assume are very well prepared for these tournaments, but they would have to like actually read their cards a lot and make sure. And like even if they read them, they may not fully understand like what they're doing. Yeah. So even Vanquish Soul, I know like when I was playing, a lot of people had to read my cards. And I think you get like an inherent boost off of like unfamiliar matchup. Like you're basically uncomfortable to play against for a lot of these players on like Malice or Mitsu who are used to playing against those decks. So I think that probably contributed to a lot of these other decks becoming like having a lot of representation in Top Cut, even if they weren't represented throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah. And like I mentioned, there's a bunch of decks in Top Cut that I've never read cards for, or like I don't know the new cards. For example, Punk, I don't know what the new cards do. Lunalite, I guess I knew the cards. I knew how to hand trap it well enough. But like Goblin Biker, I kind of know what the cards are trying to do, but I would have no idea. But they got a top. Gem Knight, like I said. White Forest, I don't really know what the new White Forest cards do. So there's a lot of people that probably rode that kind of strategy up into Top Cut. And I think it's kind of cool to see that happen. I like to see one deck of, some rogue strategy make it to the top 64 or whatever. But we knew the top 3 decks, and it was the top 3 represented, which was Mitsu, Vanquish Soul, and Malice. So we prepared for that, and it was fine for the most part. But I rode the X1 bracket all the way up to the 9th round, so I played a lot of weird crap. I played Dynamorphia in round 5 or whatever, so that was exciting. Did you have any other favorite parts of the experience besides playing? Obviously, the Alexes, you both topped the event, but besides that, did you have any cool parts of the event, cool parts of the weekend? Anything that you want to throw attention to? Anything come to mind?
I think the people I played against were all pretty cool guys for the most part. I didn't have any complaints with that.
I don't like Indianapolis, bro. Can we please have it anywhere else next year? Holy, dude. And then
did you have good opponents, Alex? Were your opponents pleasant?
Dude, I'm pleading the 5th on this one. But I didn't really do much either. I just played Yu-Gi-Oh for 14 hours Saturday, and then 12 hours or 6 hours, whatever, Sunday.
Did you have good sleeping?
Yeah, you have to get up super early on Sunday. Yeah, sleeping roaches.
Yeah, dude. Unlucky.
Hell yeah.
We had roaches in the crib chat.
You guys did. Me personally, didn't sleep there.
Oh, that was the only one that was seen indoors, so we can't confirm. May have been alone.
That's fair.
I think I know other people in the group went and played golf, but we didn't get to do that.
No.
Yeah, we were losers.
Too busy winning. Too busy
2K
winning games, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did finding food on Saturday night was a tough task, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But
well, considering we got out at midnight.
Yeah, we didn't get out until after 11.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the event was fine. It was a fine event.
It was good.
It did take a long time between rounds.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say it was 45-minute rounds, but also 45 minutes between rounds. So we got out of there Saturday night at 11 or something, and then we sat down to eat at 11:30 because I know they were closing at 12 or whatever. So that was kind of crazy. I watched MBT's recap of the event, and he was mentioning one of the rounds he was the reason because he went in. They had an extension, and then they waited for 30 minutes past the round time or something like that. So he was like, "Yep, between round 6 and 7, that was me," or whatever. So, and with 3,000 people at the event, there's got to be somebody every round that has the same situation. So that's kind of crazy, but
it wasn't.
And you know what the crazy thing was? Is they did paper pairings, bro, for most of that Saturday. Ridiculous. They all they have to do is take a picture and post it on the Facebook group or something like that. But instead they printed off one copy and walked around and put it in one spot in the venue. Absolutely ridiculous. Dude.
Even just multiple locations of pairings would have been fine.
Exactly, dude. At least off two.
They're doing the printer and they're like, we can only print one sheet. We only have enough paper for one sheet per round is what they acted like. I was fighting people to see my name.
That was crazy. Nice. And then
dude, there's 100 people standing around the thing, bro. And there's people who are X4 still standing there oh, bro, where's my next round? It's round 8. I'm like, brother, get out of the way. Why are you even here?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And then I think there was a problem with the 3v3 on Sunday. They overbooked that too, so that didn't start till an hour late. And I was gonna do that.
No.
What?
Wouldn't know what it's
like, dude.
Wouldn't know. Wouldn't know anything about that, dude.
Don't know anything about the 3v3.
But
I almost did it, but
I mean,
no. Glad I did.
That is the best event to do, though.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun if you get to actually participate.
Yeah, none of us got to participate, so
that is the problem. If you're playing day 2 rounds, you can't do 3v3, and then you have to find a team if you do.
I wish they did it on Friday. That would have been cool. But oh well. Have you guys
or start it later on Sunday?
Yeah. Have you guys been to a 3v3 YCS before? Any of you? Or nah?
We were discussing possibly going to the next one. It is a possibility.
Vegas every year, it seems like, right? Or no? I don't know. But
It is typically in Vegas, I think.
yeah, I do want to go to one of these.
Yeah, it's
'cause
always in Vegas.
I played one 3v3.
It's a good time.
I played one 3v3 on a Sunday after YCS, and I thought it was a great time. So I'm
Chris,
definitely down.
I think we can. If you want to do it, dude.
Somebody
I think
will
there's
go.
plenty of people from our team who would love to be on your team.
That's what I thought.
You
But
have your
then
pick.
this year, I hit people up, and no one was coming. So I was like, all right, I get it.
Weird.
I'm not good at the game. It's fine.
No. And even you did far better than the 90% of players.
Hell
Yeah, dude. And
Not
most
complain.
you would have like ran a 3v3 if you got like you and like a couple other people from our locals that are pretty good. Because like a lot of the
You-
people in the 3v3 are already out of the tournament, you know, so that usually they're not like the highest caliber. They're still pretty good. Like a lot of good people playing it. But it's also, it removes a lot of variance. And
Yeah.
if you have 3 people who are good on your team. Because
Yeah.
what are the odds 2 out of the 3 of you lose the same round?
Yeah, especially when you can get input from other players in your team. Like, it's always like sometimes you may miss something small, but as long as you ask them, odds are they'll help you.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like when
At least
Tim and
something
I,
like
you, me, and Paul did that 3v3, you two played Pearly
Such
and
a
I
fun
had the
time.
Manadian deck.
We could not lose.
What
Well,
a
I couldn't lose because
nice.
Bro, I was like, yeah.
what a time to be alive, dude.
All right.
I
do
love
you
the
think,
3v3 events though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look forward at the EUWCQ coming up this weekend. So in like 3 days, or from when I'm posting this, probably tomorrow. So 8 of the top 64 NA decks cannot top EU because they don't have Battles of Legend. So there's no Orcus, no Gem Knight, and no Punk. So are we expecting anything different from the EUWCQ, or do you think it's going to be basically the same pie chart as NA? Do you think any like results from NA are going to influence what EU is going to do, or anything like that? Like any predictions from you guys?
Are they not allowed to play the new cards like at all? Like
They don't.
can't, like,
They're
get them
not.
shipped
It's not
in?
legal there. Nope,
oh,
not
what the
legal.
hell?
It's not released in
That is-
Europe, so it wouldn't be fair. It'd actually be pay to win for them, so they can't do that.
Is it really pay to win though? We got Orcus and Punk. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude,
Not
I'm thinking
accessible,
of,
dude.
I
What
hope
are you
my
talking about?
opponent
Won the
signs up in Orcus, right?
NAWCQ. Literally won the event. What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
Nothing. You got nothing to say.
I'm
I
just
think,
throwing it out there.
And just say Europe though, their deck choice, like what they typically choose and what they typically play, is far different than like what we play here in NA. And their mindset, they seem to enjoy mid range more, and like also just rogue. Like they usually see like way more representation of like mermail or like plant in past years. I wouldn't be shocked to see like a lot, maybe more Vanquish Soul, or like or Luna Light, or more some other different, not Malice, not Mitsu.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, because they usually have like pretty good innovation over there, honestly. Team Raid and Trade always comes to mind with Dinkabui coming up with random crap and winning with it. Joshua Schmidt always comes up with random crap and wins with it. So it's like, it's kind of weird. It's like whatever these guys choose to play and add one to the top tally, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
they usually have some interesting stuff. So I'm expecting like a couple. Well, we had 2 Mermail in top 64. I bet that's probably reasonable for what they'll have too. But I can see stuff like more Vanquish Soul, maybe something weird like Fire King finds its way in there somehow, or something like that. So I'm kind of interested to
Yeah,
see.
if Dinkabui's playing it,
Yeah, exactly.
if he's playing Fire King, I'm sure it will be in the top 10.
Exactly.
Or like Pyramids too. Because I feel like that wasn't
yeah.
well represented at our knots
They like that deck a lot there
in
too.
top cut. Yeah, exactly.
They love that deck.
And
I
I
don't
had
know.
no faith in that deck at all until Chris beat me like 9 out of the 10 matches we played that weekend, bro. And then I show up to locals the next week and play him in top cut, like top 8. And I lose there again to Pyramitsu, bro.
Dude,
Respect gained for that deck.
Hell yeah.
That deck has a very swingy matchups though too. Like really good into your deck, really bad into like more mid-rangey, like Vanquish Soul I know has a good matchup into it. So
Yeah.
it's a toughie.
I bet people will be more prepared for Malice too, after watching like NAWCQ. So like maybe Nibiru is more popular. I don't know.
And like I also think they're going to be more prepared for the duad strategies too, because we only had like maybe 2 weeks to fully prepare with like in-person cards. They've had like a full month basically to like get used to like playing against Vanquish Soul and Lunalite.
Yeah, and the people
like,
that wanted to
different
play
stuff.
Vanquish Soul, like you had to literally build the deck yourself and figure out
Mhm.
like what's good and not.
Yeah, so they can like look at our lists. I wouldn't look at my list, but they can look at the other lists and remove impulse from it.
Nice. Do you
No
think,
more fire attacker for them, I'm sure.
you think there's any chance Sky Striker finds a spot over there in top 64?
No, not shot.
Or is it just
I don't think that
Dude,
deck's
I
very
bet,
good at
bro.
all.
64 people.
Maybe if Joshua should have played it, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to do it.
No.
Even he was like, that deck sucks.
Yeah, he said it's not good. But hey, that Striker Mitsurugi deck, Alex. Maybe.
Dude, it's not even, yeah. The Striker Mitsu deck, I think, is pretty good, relatively speaking. You know, it's not like tier 1, but it's actually playable.
It's playable.
And I think the problem with the Striker deck is like everyone has Droll in their main deck. So if you're going second with Striker and you get Drolled, it is just game.
Not great. Not great.
It's true.
All right.
I don't know how popular Droll may get removed from the main deck in Europe, though. It is not.
What are you
There's my
talking
shot.
about?
That is the best hand
Dude,
trap
if
right now.
everybody thinks people are playing Malice, if everybody shows up with their Malice decks, people will be like, oh, gotta take out my Drolls.
Ignore
Get
him.
aside.
It's
Yeah,
not
you're
even
right, man.
unplayable against Malice. Like, it's not
You're
ideal,
right,
and it should be statted out, but like, you can still stop stuff.
my apologies for the take.
Terrible.
All right, that actually bridges into what I wanted to talk about next, which is we're getting Justice Hunters coming out, and we're not getting a ban list, which means Raziel, Mitsu, and Malice are still going to be full power or current power against the Yummy and K9 Vanquish Soul deck. And we are at a weird spot with non-engine because it's like you still have to play Droll or else you're going to get FTK'd by Mitsu Raziel because they're still just as good as they were before. But now Droll sucks against Malice and Vanquish Soul, and I don't know, it's like whatever against Yummy, I think. But so we're at this place where like you have to play all these non-engine specifically to counter other decks, but now you don't know what you're playing against because it's like a 5 to 6 deck meta. So what are your guys' like strategies coming in for this weird format for like post Justice Hunters but pre ban list? How's your deck building working out so far?
Not looking good.
Not great.
Because we had it. We thought we knew what was going on, and we assumed all those decks were going to rotate out. But then they announced the ban list thing. So we've been trying to figure stuff out.
I mean, like the guarantee cards are like, I know for sure no matter what that I'll play is like probably like if Malice is still relevant, like even as a deck, I think you have to side Lancey it. It's just like a necessity so you don't lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Ash and Flawless are still great hand traps, even though like K9 like they can punish you for it. I think they're like such high quality hand traps that especially if your deck loses to Charmies too. I think it's just like a mandatory inclusion.
Yeah.
I do also think Nib gets a lot better into this format, but that's to be, that's not a guarantee. That's just like my first thoughts on the format.
Where's Droll?
Do you
in
think
your
this
list?
format seems like super swing? Not good.
Where's Droll in your
Not
list? Is it in the main side or not?
Right now, I have it in the side just because I'm concerned with Mitsu Raziel. Like, I think that deck is still very real. I don't think you can main deck it because it's literally only good into that deck, and a lot of the other decks become a lot more popular. It's like fine in the Vanquish Soul, like it's not like the worst hand trap ever, like, but I think it is unfortunately weaker than a lot of the other ones right now.
Yeah.
And it makes you play into K9 cards too, so it's like if you're not like impactful enough and you're playing into K9 cards, it's not worth it, I think.
Yeah, so it almost becomes like what Lancia's been. It's like you just have to side 3 for a hope to win that matchup for like games 2 and 3, essentially.
Yeah.
But this new meta seems like it's going to be like super like some decks just have horrible matchups into like other ones. It's not even like like a lot of interaction based. I would assume like Yummy's matchup into Mitsu Raziel is probably terrible. Like that seems like it'd be horrible, to be honest. And then like but like K9 Vanquish Soul I know has a tough matchup into Yummy when they're playing like thrusts and breakers and stuff. So it's like seems like it's gonna be like super swingy depending on like what matchups you have. I assume Malice sucks into K9 Vanquish Soul. It seems like it'd be tough.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's talk about the new decks for a little bit. We already talked or brought up K9 and Yummy, and then we also have Draco Tail to talk about a little bit and why it's good or not. So first of all, are you guys like committed to any of these decks going forward post Justice Hunters? I know Alex B is going to be on K9 Vanquish Soul. Tim, have you chosen a deck? And Alex?
Nah, but I am leaning towards. Sorry, I'm leaning towards the K9 Vanquish Soul deck.
Yeah. Alex, T.
But you, Alex?
Are you picking any of these? Or
Yeah, I mean, I have the Vanquish Soul cards, so like I'm gonna build that K9 Vanquish Soul deck, especially because it's so like quote unquote cheap out of the new set. Because all you need is the Azunas. But I do think that Yummy deck's gonna be like really good, like better than it was in the OCG and the TCG. And it was already pretty good in the OCG. But yeah, I don't know. And I think like having the main deck like Fualos and having Droll somewhere in your list, like this type of stuff, kind of hurts the K9 Vanquish Soul deck because you kind of just want to play the correct attributes. So I don't know if that deck will deliver, at least until the ban list.
okay. And then have any of you tested Draco Tail? And is there any possible way it can do something, or is it just not good right now?
I don't think we've tested it ourselves, but it definitely seems like a pretty good deck. It may just not be quite up to like the same quality as the other two, but like it's got pretty high quality cards, and also I believe it's got a good matchup into Yummy too. So it's definitely not a bad deck. It just sucks into K9 because it plays into it really easily, I think.
Okay, that makes sense, and it's kind of unfortunate because that's the deck I like the most in terms of play style out of this new set. But considering it's probably not going to be very competitive, I'll just wait for the prices to tank in like a month and then scoop it up. And they already announced the support for all three decks in Doom and Dimensions, and Draco Tail's support is by far the worst, so that's kind of unfortunate and does not give any hope.
Doesn't look at your opponent's hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the problem I had with that Draco Tail deck when I was reading the cards is like you make the two fusions and you set a couple traps and you pass. I feel like you want like a stronger combo, I feel like, than that. And I'm not certain how to do it.
It was obviously really good in Japan and the OCG in general, just because like they have Maxi, and so like those mid-range decks with very small amount of like points of interaction tend to perform a lot better there. But then they also printed the Secretarion Dragon too, which just like I don't know what the point of printing that card was, unless you wanted to ruin mirror matches for that deck.
And in the OCG, Draco Tail can like add back the Maxi if they do it, so you can just like infinite loop that. So I think that helped. And they also didn't have Duelist Advance when they got Justice Hunters. So like K9 wasn't like a real deck, you know? So they just had like Draco Tail against Yone. Like more than just Azuna.
Yeah, like they played I think they played like the hand trap package in Draco Tail, but that was like it. It's like K9 like, hadn't seen a good amount of play yet.
Like they didn't play like Jokul.
I'm not sure. I don't think they did, because I think they just liked it because of the attributes. Yeah.
Like yeah. And like the Dragon Tail deck is like not bad against the Yummy deck in theory. Because you know, they link summon and it triggers your fusion, come back. So yeah.
The cards are high quality. Like they're definitely good cards. I don't think I think it'll be competitive. I just don't think it'll be like maybe up to the same quality as maybe those two. It's unclear where Mitsu, Raziel, and Malice will stand, like as well. Those as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting format until we get a ban list that we assume is going to take kind of Malice and Ryziel out. And I think, well, I don't know, we could talk about ban list kind of like discussion in a minute, but I don't think a ban list is going to kill Mitsurugi. I don't think it's old enough yet. I think it'll still be playable somehow, but maybe just not as splashable or something. I know the rumor was Feral Imps would be banned and Prayers to One, which kind of hurts the splashability, but I think maybe a Pure Mitsu deck is still going to be like playable at least. But we'll see. We'll just have to wait until sometime after Worlds or whatever they said. But yeah, the Draco Tail deck, I like the cards because I feel like there's a lot of potential to mix them with other stuff, and someone just has to figure it out. Like I saw a few like Dragon Maid builds, which seems cool. I know Branded has some kind of synergy there, so that's cool. And I don't know, I'm guessing you can pair dragons with a lot of shit that people haven't figured out yet. So I'm looking to pick them up, but I'm in no hurry. And probably I'll pick up the K9 cards and play Vanquish Soul K9. I need 3 Vanquish Soul cards, and that's $150 right now, so that's kind of ass. But and then the K9 cards on top of that, it's going to be another $150 probably. So I don't know, that's kind of gross. But I do have Alti Kagaris, which are 300 a piece, so maybe I can swap that.
But also, Draco Tail, if you did want to play it, I actually think it would thrive when it's not the best deck. You'll see less of that Floodgate guy in people's extras. So, like, it's actually probably better positioned as, like, Tier 2 Rogue to actually win more matches. People won't have that stupid, like, super poly target in their extra deck.
Yeah, kind of like Branded. Like, whenever Branded's too good, it doesn't have a chance. But if Branded's kind of under the radar, it's a lot better off.
Yeah, especially if you're playing it at like locals and like the regional coming up, because it's not like we have a YCS until November, so
Yeah.
you know you can play whatever basically.
Vancouver, dude, which you'll be at.
No, I won't, bro. You cannot pay me to travel to Vancouver, bro.
Drive into
Too
Vancouver,
far.
dude.
When's Anaheim?
October 5th or something. First weekend of October.
Okay, and then Pittsburgh's November, right?
So that'll be post Doom of Dimensions, yeah. So like it'll be the first event after Doom of Dimensions releases.
Anaheim will be, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, it'll be real weird locals for about 3 months. It'll probably be Alex B winning every locals with Vanquish Soul K9, Tim coming in second place as usual. You know, losing to Freeman.
That's how it always is.
Someone's losing to Freeman every week. You know how it is. We should like.
He's the goat. So
Not us, dude.
I want to shout out our
He's the
locals.
future of Yugioh.
Our locals crushed it at the NAWCQ. We had 3 guys topping, including you two. We also had Freeman. Shout out to Freeman. Then we had
goat.
how many more day 2?
Interview,
Tim
yeah.
and Paul and anyone else day 2 like that besides you guys? I don't think so. 2 day 2.
I mean, you almost did, dude. Like last round of day 1, you're excellent.
You and Rory both almost.
Yeah,
a while.
me and Rory.
Yeah,
both.
Rory was like undefeated for a while.
Yeah, so
Rory.
shout out to Rory. Yeah, we had we
goat.
crushed it. Pittsburgh represented pretty good. Let's talk about the ban list really quick. We had the news that it's not coming out till after Worlds. What do you guys think about that? Are you on one hand, I'm happy or like excited to see how the new decks pair up against the old guard, you know, the Mitsu and the Malice, and it's just gonna be fun to watch. But it's probably not
Can
gonna
they
be
play
that fun
Mitsu?
to play. So
Wait, can they play Mitsu if it's TCG exclusive?
maybe not at
No.
Worlds,
No.
but just like for
Okay.
our when we play.
Yeah, for us, you can.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah. So like,
I'm
are
not
you guys
excited.
happy to see that, or are you kind of like, let's just get those old decks out of here?
I would like them gone as fast as possible. I hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate they didn't release a ban list because the ceiling for going first now is ridiculously high, dude. Like you just get Ouroboros hand looped if you don't have like Droll or Fualos or Perulia, and
Yeah,
or
it's like
you
a
get
fake
like full
format now.
Malice comboed, and now you're also gonna get like Paradise Snatcher locked if you don't have the right hand trap for that. And it's just like is ridiculous, dude. Like, get some of these decks out of the format so I can main deck hand traps that are like do something. I don't know.
Well, we were seeing in a lot of like testing right now for Juhu is like going second breaker yummy or something like that, which just it won't be playable and for the next month because like they'll just get hand loop for 2 and then like lose if they do that. Like there's a 0% chance it's playable like that.
Yeah, you're gonna get hand looped, you're gonna get Paradise Smashed, or you're gonna get Protost. Like you're just gonna get
Yeah, or like Malice.
I forgot
Combo.
about Protoss, dude.
It's so dumb. Like
Yeah, Protoss needs to get banned. It is like such an unnecessary card.
I would be
Why?
happy with like a ban list just to get rid of those cards and keep the rest of the engines full power, like at least. Like let's just get rid of Protoss, Smasher, and whatever like the FTK cards are. But I don't know.
Unfortunately, Mr. Smasher is receiving a collector's rare, so he will not be going anywhere.
Sure
Oh,
is.
dude, I have the opposite view. I think because they reprinted him in this set, it's basically
He's
them
gone.
like saying
Oh, he's
they
a
don't want people
CR.
paying $30 for Paradise Smasher and then having it be banned in 2 months. So they're giving it to everyone for free, basically.
Maybe for the
And then
rare,
they
but they
delete
put
the
it as
ban
CR.
list for 2
It's a
months.
CR.
So
He's
you're
gone,
gonna get
he's
some
gone.
Justice Hunter hits.
I hope
Okay.
he's gone. I hope he is gone. I don't necessarily want him to be in the format.
Dude, I hope
But-
he's there.
Yeah, I'm your favorite card, dude. Your new favorite.
Nice. What are you guys' thoughts on Droll? There's been a lot of talk about Droll being a potential ban-worthy card. Do you think would you prefer it banned, or do you think that it's kind of like necessary?
Necessary for sure. Like that card can never be banned unless they just make the quality of like combo decks less. Because like the problem is as soon as you print a deck like Ryzeal, imagine Droll was banned in this format, how awful the game would be right now. Worse than it already is, and I already think the format's really bad because it's just like a bunch of FTKs. Like I just couldn't imagine a world where Droll gets banned because it's just so necessary. Like obviously it sucks. Like if your opponent goes first and then they Droll you, like that's obnoxious, but it's just something you have to live with, I think, because of how needed Droll is.
The thing is, Droll is also not always good into these combo decks. Like in like the last year, even like I've Drolled Snake Eyes players, and they just don't even care. And I'm like, well, what a waste of my time. That did nothing. But like, and the same with like Yummy. I'm pretty sure they don't really care very much if they get Drolled. And like, it's kind of if they want to keep Droll for that reason, they need to make combo decks actually get hurt by it a lot more. At some point in making combo decks that just don't really care about Droll. It kind of defeats the purpose of the card, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Josh Schmidt put out a video on, I don't know, his chat like gave a whole bunch of suggestions for Droll alternatives, and I thought there were a lot of good ones, like Droll, but it's a Charmy, so you can only use it going first, or you can only use it on turn 0 or whatever, so you can't like build a board and then Droll your opponent, because that's like the worst. Like as a pure Mitsu player for the last 2 weeks, I guess, I've like, if I get Drolled on turn 0, I'm like, all right, I think I can like at least put up like a half board. But like, if I'm playing into a board and then I get Drolled, I'm like, all right, game 2, because there's just no chance whatsoever. So I do think that's kind of obnoxious and it's kind of demoralizing. I also saw like Droll, but it's shared ride instead, like hand trap shared ride, where you just draw instead of you can't search. There are some decent ideas, but they need to print one of those and then ban Droll afterwards. I think would be ideal.
I don't think it's a good idea because I do think that's an issue with like almost every hand trap in general. Like I think that's always been a flaw with like the hand traps is that like if you pair them with your end board, it makes them like almost unbreakable. But I usually just think of it as like, just imagine it was like some stupid going first card that they sided in. Like it could always just be that too. So it's like it would just change the way people side deck and just put more ignorant like cards like Solemns or like Floodgate type of like traps and stuff. And like those are annoying too. Like those paired with an end board are also FTK. So it's like I don't think it makes enough of a difference between Droll or like any other stupid going first card that somebody would play. Like if they go full combo, you're losing anyways. Paired with
Yeah,
literally
those
anything.
Floodgates are at 1, but floodgates are mostly at 1 nowadays because of that reason. And Joel's
You
at
don't need it to
3.
be a floodgate. It can be like literally whatever the hell you want. It can literally be whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I got smacked with mistaken
confused.
arrest in round 9, so that one, worse than Droll. I went minus a swift -1 there. Went prayers, tribute, Habakiri, chain, mistaken arrest. I'm like, all right, that sucks. That's not ideal.
That is game.
That was game.
That is typically game.
Unfortunate, but yeah. Okay. So we've talked about NA, we talked about EU, we talked about Justice Hunters and the ban list. That's kind of all I really prepared. Do you guys have anything else you want to chat about before we wrap it up?
Are you so handsome?
I was born this way, dude. Just how it is. You know what it is.
So distracting when I'm trying to do a podcast, dude.
I try.
Hard to focus up.
My fault. My fault.
That's all I wanted to add.
Okay. So I guess we'll wrap it up there with on that one.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys for hopping on. I'll leave any links below, and then yeah, we will catch you guys in the next one.
Let me give a little outro. Stormhouse game. Somebody put this in. Please let me put this as the intro. Actually,